The call came in March 1976, one of those phone calls that divides life into before and after. Jackson Browne, already one of the most respected voices in American music, learned that his wife, Phyllis Major, had been found dead in their Los Angeles home. There was no public statement, no dramatic explanation, only silence, and a 3-year-old son left behind. From that moment on, the man whose songs had comforted an entire generation began carrying a quiet grief that never completely faded. If you listen closely to Jackson Browne's music, you can almost hear it. The feeling that beauty and heartbreak are often born from the same place. But his story didn't begin with tragedy. Jackson Browne was born in 1948 in Heidelberg, Germany, where his American parents were temporarily living after the war. When the family returned to California, they settled in Los Angeles, in a modest neighborhood called Eagle Rock. It wasn't glamorous, no red carpets, just quiet streets, our radios playing softly in living rooms, and a young boy slowly discovering that music could say things words alone could not. While other kids chased sports or popularity, Browne spent hours alone with a guitar. He listened more than he spoke, and that habit, observing quietly, became the foundation of his songwriting. By the late 1960s, he was already respected inside the music industry, even if the public didn't yet know his face. He wrote songs that other artists performed, including the haunting "These Days," recorded by Nico. Musicians like Linda Ronstadt, the Byrds, and the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band began performing his material. Jackson Browne became the songwriter everyone admired, but the audience rarely saw. Then came his own debut album in 1971. Songs like "Dr. My Eyes" unexpectedly climbed into the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, while the album itself reached the top 15 and later went platinum. Suddenly, the quiet songwriter standing behind other artists stepped into the spotlight himself. And he didn't waste the moment. Albums like "Late for the Sky" and "The Pretender" deepened his reputation. Browne wasn't writing easy love songs. He was asking uncomfortable questions about ambition, society, and the emotional exhaustion people feel while chasing success. His music became the voice of a generation leaving behind the optimism of the 1960s. Then came "Running on Empty" in 1977, recorded on the road in hotel rooms, buses, and backstage hallways. It was risky and unconventional, but the album soared to number 3 on the Billboard 200 and eventually went 7 times platinum. The title track captured a feeling millions of people understood: the strange exhaustion of constantly moving forward without knowing where you're headed. But behind that success was the tragedy that changed everything. When Phyllis Major died in 1976, Browne withdrew almost completely. Concerts were canceled, interviews disappeared. The man who wrote songs about life suddenly faced the hardest lesson of all: how to continue living after loss. And yet, he did continue. Jackson Browne kept writing, kept performing. Decades passed. Awards arrived, including induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004 and the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2007. His albums sold more than 30 million records worldwide. But numbers don't explain his legacy. What makes Jackson Browne unforgettable isn't fame, it's honesty. He wrote about fatigue when others pretended everything was fine. He wrote about doubt when the world demanded certainty. And through it all, his songs quietly reminded people of something deeply human. That pain doesn't disappear. But sometimes, music helps you carry it.